to those back home and help in buying data for them, for example, so they can help in, you can give each person you know a task to get you 1,000 votes, for example, and provide data for them. The rules have not changed, but because there is problem with the data, there is problem with the internet, and this is the first time we are doing such thing, knowing fully well that the internet is not accessible in Biafra land, not even in Nigeria. So it is already used, because we are using the electronic means, is already a disenfranchisement on its own. But we have to do what we got to do to support those who will have the opportunity and the means to use their mobile phone to help others to vote. So it is a task I am giving to every one of you, and also it is a responsibility that every one of us must take. Why the Biafra government in exile and the de facto government in the homeland are providing some gadget to selected electoral officials in each state, it is not enough. So we need to individually, on our own, help the government in making sure that the dream of having as many votes as possible before October, November is achieved. And that is number 2. And then we go to the defense of the Biafra land. As you all can see, your support to the government in exile, your contribution has seen a total protection and defense of the Biafra territory, that today there is no attack, there is no mass killing in Biafra land. It is, the credit goes to you because you have made it possible. So the United States, Biafrans in the United States, I would like everyone to clap for yourself, because while other Nigerians are crying, indigenous people in Nigeria are crying, you are not crying. But remember, it has been taking a lot out of you. A lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice has made it possible that people in Biafra land today are bragging that nobody can come there and attack and go free. And we are just starting. We have invested in defense of Biafra, and we continue to invest. And I want every one of you to understand that when we are being faced with threat of extinction, it requires a lot of resources to make the enemy to understand that you can't come in and kill and go. And that particular message, I believe today, is very, very clear to the enemy that Biafra land is a no-go area. And that's why we are doing many things we are doing, which a lot of people will never understand. It is also the same way when every nation are displaying their military might, their military capability, their defense, capability, is sending message to the enemy that you cannot try us and we will deal with you. So even though we don't have aircraft, we don't have fighter jet, we don't have military tanks and all that, we have ground forces bigger than Nigeria. We also have men who are more brave, more trained, even more experienced than those Nigeria terrorist army. And I don't need to be saying it because the result is there. So we are also sending messages to those who have been attacking other indigenous people in Nigeria, killing them in masses. 2 days ago, we were watching how they were running from Plateau State, from the community that hosts one of the university there, and people were massacred. And everybody was watching, and what they do, and they have been doing for ages, is to video and be shouting and post it on social media. There is no help. Nobody comes to defend them. And don't forget that we, the Biafra people, were once there. We were once in their shoe. We were once seeing us being massacred, and we make videos and share. We were once being chased away from our own community and our own villages, only for us to share the video. We were once even advocating for people to always video and speak English. so that when we post it out there on social media, the world will know what is going on. We have advocated for that when we were like them. But today, we are no longer doing that. Today, when the criminals and the terrorists come to kill, we have what it takes to defend ourselves. And if they succeed in inflicting any pain to us, we are also in the position to share or not to share, because the capability to defend our land is there. And to those who have sabotaged the Biafra Defense Forces in their different villages, most of them have also paid the price of the sabotage. Because when the enemy come, before we will go there, they may have inflicted number of degrees of damages in their community. And so many of them have repented and have realized their mistake. So there is no sabotage. But knowing our people, who they are, and because of what Nigeria have inflicted in their brains, it is never going to end. The sabotage is something that we are going to face till the restoration of Biafra. And that's why when the sabotage comes, I am not very bothered, because it is part of the struggle. It is not just because of Biafra. It is the sabotage is everywhere. There are countries that are sabotaging their own country today. So it is something that have to do with humans, and we can't eradicate it completely. But the good news is that when Biafra become an independent state, we have the solution. We have what it takes to end every sabotage, to make every single person become patriotic citizen through government policies, through inclusive governance, through equality, progress, equity, and justice. Nobody will have any reason to go against or feel neglected by the government, like what we see in Nigeria today. The neglect, the marginalization, the inequality is too much. And so last time I also promised the Biafrans in the United States that the Biafra government is moving to the AU, the African Unity or African Union, and we are approaching the Banjul Court. The Banjul Court, we are filing the application for reparation. That is going to be in the next few days. This particular process will kickstart. And we are also activating the Article 20 of the African Charter on Humans and People's Rights. The Article 20 clearly states that all people shall have the right to existence. They shall have the unquestionable and the inalienable right to self-determination. And that's where we are today. It went further to say, they shall freely determine their political status and shall pursue their economics and social development according to the policy that have freely chosen. So we have chosen our own policy according to what is enshrined in the African Charter of Human and People's Rights. Also, the Article 20, Article 21 of the same charter state, all people shall freely dispose of their wealth and natural resources. We have not given that right by the Nigeria state to dispose our wealth and natural resources. This right shall be exercised in the exclusive interest of the people. What is happening in Nigeria today is a complete violation of the African Charter, Article 21. There has never been any time in the history of Nigeria that Nigeria government considered the indigenous people under which the natural resources that Nigeria is using to fund terrorism today is coming from. And in no case shall a people be deprived of it. Nigeria have deprived us from the time they discovered natural resources in Nigeria, and which is located in Biafra land. This is what we are going to pursue simultaneously as we fight in diplomatic way, international level, globally, and then of course in defense of Biafra land. We are following Nigeria and fighting with using multi-dimensional approach. So those of you who are yet to purchase your ticket as a delegate to Finland, you have a limited time to do so, because the limited number of people will soon we will soon get to that limit. And once that limit comes, it means you may not have the opportunity to participate in this historic event where the declaration of the restoration of independent state of Biafra will be declared in Finland. So, people of Biafra in the United States, remember, to whom much is given, much is expected. You have given much to the Biafra Republic government in exile, and of course, our much expected is what you are seeing today, where Biafra land has been sealed and protected under the watch and defense of the Biafra Defense Force, which include Biafra Liberation Army, Biafra Resistance Fighters, the Biafra Air Force, and Biafra Navy. The Navy of Biafra is very active in Bakassi Peninsula. The reason for Bakassi Peninsula is because of the experience of the Biafra War. We know exactly what Nigeria did to us and Cameroon during the Biafra War. The blockade of Biafra were very effective. They used Bakassi Peninsula to enforce the blockade of Biafra. So when you are hearing that rocket that is moving, it is only in Bakassi that the Biafra Defense Forces have used rocket. And you know, some of them are wondering, is this really rocket or what is it? Yes, we are using rocket. Because when they come to kill, they also come with RPG, and we need to have more superior response. That's why the explosion is being heard in Bakassi and no other place at this point. So it is going to be continue like that. And of course, with the help of the alliance of Amazonia, we are making sure that this particular alliance is yielding the desired result. So the Biafran Navy will continue to use rocket to make sure we delegitimize Nigeria and weaken this particular area that were used for the blockade of Biafra. That's why what is happening there is that because a lot of you may have been asked the question, why is the rocket, why is the explosion in Bakassi and all that? We are making a very big statement in Bakassi to tell them this time around, there will be no blockade and it will never work. And that's why we are also investing on air defense. As I'm talking to you today, we can boast of air defense, anti-aircraft, many of them, and it will continue to come. So our investment on defense is increasing, and as it increases, it is also more responsibility as we need to feed those machines. So this evening, I am here again to brief you all with this little update. Of course, there are many updates that I may not even remember, which the cabinet may help me, but if we begin to tell you what we have done within these 2 weeks before that I came here, you will never believe it. But these are the most essential ones that I believe that I need to update all of you to know the progress we're making. And then in the next few weeks, I will come here to give you update on the Banjo court application, which I have just explained now. Before then, hopefully, that will be a very concrete update.
All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel. We'll bring you back-to-back update and information as see the hot. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you go be the first. We'll collect them. Well, let's go down to the news proper I see the hot. You don't share for the matter wey be say dey for my table dey worry. The people wey be say that they call the indigenous people of Biafra don declare the 31st of May public holiday for Biafra land. Nine as they declare nine southeast governors and police wey be say they dey for southeast say they don't reject that particular seat at home wey be say IPOB don't declare say they themselves they go to make counter move against that particular declaration of public holiday in May 31st. Of course, you know as it be that every May 31st is a day of remembrance of the fallen heroes of Biafra land. And myself, I'm asking a question: does it mean that we are not supposed to remember the heroes we pass? Of course, you know that these gallant and great men died for the freedom of their people. Even though after that particular fight between 1967-1970 of Nigeria-Biafra Civil War, the then head of state, Gowon, declared no victor, no vanquish. And after that, he introduced what he called 3DR, that is supposed to be reconstruction and rehabilitation. And the other part, of course, other parts of the other regions in Nigeria has actually enjoyed that 3DR, of which the southeast have not even enjoyed. Now, look at the building of the railways and other highways that are being built, the coastal ways and the rest of them. You find out that the southeast have not actually benefited on all this rehabilitation, reconstruction, and the rest of that. And be that as it may, my question is, Yauruna person brother die maybe in war or something like that, is it now an anathema or a taboo for someone to commemorate his late brother, his late parent, or his late sisters or siblings who passed away in war? And I think that the May 31st, which was declared by the IPOB as it has been known for some years now, I don't think it's a big bad thing because that's how it's supposed to be, and that's how it is in other places. Meanwhile, make I carry go for the full detail of the information as Southeast governors and the police yesterday urged residents to disregard the sit-at-home call by the indigenous people of Biafra. The group had declared 30th May a sit-at-home day to honor those who fought in the Civil War. Enugu state government reiterated Governor Peter Mbah's strong commitment to permanently ending the illegal sit-at-home exercise. A senior member of the Mbah administration noted that the state was winning the war against illegal sit-at-home and insecurity. He said the government would not take kindly to anyone attempting to disrupt the peace in the state. He urged the people not to listen to any order to leave their businesses and sit at home. Spokesman of ohanezendigbo worldwide, Alex Obonia, said the organization will soon hold its National Executive Council meeting in Enugu, where a decision would be taken. The police in Anambra State urged residents to go about their normal businesses that day. Spokesman Ikenga Tochukwu did not respond to calls nor reply to a message sent to him, but the senior officer said the days of sit-at-home were long gone. IPOB remains banned and has no authority to impose such order on the citizenry. People should go about their normal businesses without any fear of any form. Our men will be on ground on the said day, the source said. Chris Aburime, press secretary to Governor Chukwuma Soludo, did not pick up his calls. Still, another senior official said the masses are battling with the hardship and one faceless group wants to impose another one on the people. Enough is enough. Police spokesperson in Ebonyi, Joshua Okando, warned IPOB to stay clear of the state. He urged residents to ignore the order and go about their activities. According to him, police and other security agencies will provide adequate security to ensure no one is intimidated that day. The Abia State Police Command and state officials said the directive was illegal and should be ignored. Police spokesman Maureen Chinaka and Governor Alex Oti spokesperson Okezie Oko did not respond to messages sent to them. Still, a senior government official warned that the state would take decisive action against enforcers. A senior officer said the police would not allow outlaws to disrupt the peace in Abia. And my people now don't see as it happen for that particular matter. This one, all this katakata was also be say the men of the indigenous people of Biafra don't declare it at home. Oh. And as they declare it at home, now the other senior citizens say that one no go happen for the Biafra land. All the governors will be say the day for Southeast say they don't carry hand put together to make sure say that particular matter of IPOB did not come to pass. Meanwhile, I will say that na onye kpọọ oge okpokolo ndị mmadụ nọ nwefa ewele ya bulie egwu ịghọtago because as it be the Southeast governors are supposed to uphold their own. The sit-at-home order is not to disrupt people's activities or to force people maybe to do what they don't want to do. But as I am seeing it, it is just to commemorate the 1967 to 1970 Civil War. And I'm trying to understand why the Southeast governors are so much interested in this particular sit-at-home that is going to take place in the southeastern part of Nigeria. I'm still here to understand the part they want to play in that particular matter. But before we continue, make I bring you waiting veterans they talk concerning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. They say U.S. military veterans write to Justice Binta Nyako worried about the continued detention and deteriorating health condition of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The American military veterans of Igbo descent have written to Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja pleading for his release. The letter, which was signed by Chief Dr. Sylvester Onye and Dr. Gossen Obiago, avid president and secretary respectively, urged the presiding judge to obey the Supreme Court judgment on Kanu, who they describe as prisoner of conscience. The U.S. military veterans expressed worry over the judge's refusal to grant Kanu's bail application and plea to be transferred to the correctional center instead of solitary confinement at Abuja headquarters of Department of State Service (DSS), where he has been held since June 2021, following his extraordinary rendition from Kenya. The letter made available to Vanguard read in part the judge's refusal to comply with Supreme Court judgment and the lack of willingness to interpret the Constitution fairly are truly embarrassing and humiliating for the judicial system, Nigeria, and the whole world. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should have been taken to a correctional center, not kept in a federal government privately owned detention center where his conversation with his lawyers and family members are always monitored. The judge's prayers will not be looked upon favorably in history. Your actions show that you are following a script. Remember that you have no jurisdiction over this case. You have allowed the federal government to bring forth all sorts of charges against him despite knowing he is innocent. The same prisoner was unjustly arrested, and even after fleeing his home due to government invasion, he continues to face unjust imprisonment. His parents were also subjected to physical, emotional, and mental torture leading to their deaths. Injustice to Mr. Kanu is injustice everywhere. Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja had last year discharged Kanu of all terrorism counts charged against him by the federal government and ordered his immediate unconditional release. The federal government appealed the ruling at the Supreme Court, which held that Kanu's bail application should not be revoked. My people, when I don't see as it happen for that particular matter where we say concern man is now. You cannot hear the wine at the curtain. Thank you for listening. God bless you.